Hi, welcome to Patta Empires. My name is Patta. I'm the immigrant, a restaurant owner, a mother, wife, and the Empress. I didn't always feel this way. I was so lost in the past. This podcast will show you how I built and continue to build my empires. If you ever feel lost but you know you meant for more, I'm here to show you the outlook and skill for you to build your own empires. All right, today we're going to talk about how do you hire the right people. And I bet every single business owner has the same problem. People. So people is the assets of your business, but it's also something that could give you a very hard time. I'm here to tell you not to do the same mistakes that I do. First thing, you need to know that your job is to protect your empires. By protecting your empire is you need to make sure you're bringing in the right people into your company. Never bring in people because you need them. That's gonna make you get to the point that you end up spend more than what you get. So first thing before you start to hire somebody, you want to talk to yourself. Who are you looking for? And one thing that I learned to help me to become a people expert is to come up with the core values. So the core value is the value that your company would hold on in every single day works. For example, my core value is consistency, commitment, accountability, coachability, respect, and result oriented. So this core value is something that every single person in the company would hold their standard on and make sure they represent it every single time that they're within the company. Also, the core value is something that help me in terms of hiring the right people. But before we go to that, let's talk about hiring people. So in terms of the hiring process, I used to make the big mistakes by just hire whoever that want to work and believe everyone would be a good workers. That the bad thing that ever happened in your companies. This is the thing. You need to come up with the job descriptions of every single position that you want to hire people. By saying that, like, I basically look through a lot of, like, if, for example, I want to hire a server, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Google job description for a server and then looking for, picking what is my server supposed to be doing, like greeting customer, take care of customer at the table, make sure like they do the site works, make sure they clean the restaurant, make sure they do all their job. So you need to put every single responsible into the job description. You need to put into like, what is your qualification? Do you need 2 years of experience? Do you need them to be able to speak other language? Do you need them to be able to carry X amount of weight or something like that? For having like a clear job description would help you screen people to come to apply, not to waste your time. So if your job description is clear and your expectation is clear, it makes, unqualified candidates not apply themselves. They know that they're not going to be qualified. They're not going to waste your time. You don't need to spend time on interview people. And after you put your job application out there, whoever apply, I would look into like, okay, are they qualified to what we're looking for? If it's a cook, if they're qualified, what type of people am I looking for? Then if they do, then we set an interview. I personally like to do in-person interview more than like phone interview or through the Zoom meeting or whatever. Like I like to do if they show up on time on the interviews, how they dress, how they act, how they talk, like all of those things that come in person would tell you about who they are. When during the interviews, I like to, ask questions, like ask a lot of questions. You want to get to know that person as much as you can. Like ask a lot, professional, personal. I spend more time on interview people because like I want to make sure I'm bringing in the right people. You're gonna find out like if you bring a wrong people, either you lost your good people or it's become like hurting the company or withdrawing or drain in your company. So you don't want to bring in wrong people. So you want to spend so much time, make sure that that person deserves to be in your company. So by doing the interviews, next thing I would do is call the reference. Like always call the reference. And I'm not calling the reference by, hey, I just got interview for this person. Is he a good worker? That's not a good question. Again, you asking the reference like the right question, like how he's doing job, what is his strength, what he's good at. So like you going to be like they able to tell you if that person is someone that you're looking for or not. But if they give you a reference that's gonna tell you that this is, he's good, but who knows? So I always run my second thought with, the reference. And every time when I have interviews, I never interview people by myself. I always have manager with me, always have a second, third person with me so we can help asking question and make sure like we see people in the same page. The end of the day, with a good, strong hiring process, I always tell people this is the company's story. So I want people to understand this is company's story. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going. And this is our core value. Are you able to represent this core value every day that you are working for us? Like those are something like I like to be clear and set a high expectation on day one. So every time many times like when I end up hiring the person, but they still like, oh, are they were doing a good job in the first 2 weeks, and then after the third week they start to get lazy, don't want to do the job, don't want to work extra, start to be late. So when I have to talk to that person, this is what I'm gonna be bringing on. So before we hire you, this is what we ask you to follow the core value to be consistency. So for you to not being on time every day, that's not part of what we're looking for. And if something like this happen, if you can keep up on our company core values, then we can keep you here. So a lot of time by having this conversation would help bringing people back on tracks and help them to be success in the companies. All right, so this is a tip for you to hire the right people. Having a clear job descriptions, having your clear core values for your expectations. Do a good interview, asking a lot of questions, and rather do it in person, and never forget to call for the reference. I hope this tip would help you bringing in the right people to your empires. Don't forget, your job is to protect your empires. Make sure you bring in the right people. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Patta's Empires. I hope you find it beneficial. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the next episodes. And stay in touch with Patta's Empire in other platforms. Don't forget, stay humble, stay hungry.